So Petsub99 brought some pretty heartbreaking news. In the new update, they mentioned how they're going to stop weekly updates, which kind of sucks because that was kind of one of the key things about this game, was that it's updating every single week, and a lot of people enjoyed that. But now they're stopping it. And it's not because of a lack of content or a lack of, ideas for how to improve the game. At least I don't think. They say they are going to instead do random updates rather than scheduled updates like every single week. I'm sure they're still going to drop the updates on like Fridays and Saturdays, not just drop one randomly on a Tuesday. The reason they said they're going to do this is because they want to drop massive updates rather than small weekly updates, which I understand why they're saying that, but I don't really agree with it. For one, these updates bring quite a bit already as is, and it is quite overwhelming sometimes for newer players, or for people who are just opening it up and trying to figure out what to do. They can be quite overwhelming already, and these are weekly updates. And if you're about to introduce 25 new areas, 23 to 24 of those areas are going to be completely irrelevant to the average player, because we're all trying to get to the last area that was introduced into the update. And even though they might introduce some new obbies or some new mini games, we're still going to skip past those areas mainly and just go to the areas that we want to go to, such as the last area, or maybe there's a new grind area. Having so much come out in an update can lead to two things. Some people may feel way too overwhelmed and they might not even want to open up the game, or they have less of a desire to play the game because there's just so much to do and so much to figure out. It also just kind of defeats the purpose of having like new things be brought into the game, it seems like, because so much of the new stuff is just going to be overlooked. We also don't know how long the time period between each update is going to be. Like, it could be like a month before we get like an update or something like that, which is better than no updates at all. But I'd still rather have smaller updates in between rather than have to wait a whole month for something new to be introduced into the game. Because with these smaller updates, we're getting something new almost every single time, and it's really exciting to see. But when we're waiting like a month or so, it's like, yes, we finally got something cool, but I would have rather gotten like one or two of these things like 2 weeks ago, so I can actually figure them out and figure out some new strategies. But let's also think about this from the developer's point of view. This allows them to have more time in order to think of new things that can be added into the game. Allows them to sort of brainstorm some more and not be so pressured to have something out every single week. Because with pressure comes, less thoughts and less ideas about how to improve the game or what to add into the game. So having more time will allow for more thinking and possibly better things being added. It also will prevent burnout from the developers themselves. But as we've seen already with these new updates, they can be beaten pretty quickly. Within like an hour or 2 hours, the updates are pretty much already beaten. And then we have to wait about like 5 or 6 days for the next update to come out. With a large update, that might take us a few days in order to be completed with the full update. However, there's still a large amount of time in between each individual update, and that's probably going to decrease the amount of players playing the game because a lot of people are already like completed with the game and they don't really have anything to do. But that is a sacrifice it seems the devs are willing to make. Now, I don't want to make it sound like this is a completely terrible decision on their part, because I don't think it is a terrible decision. I just think it's not the best one. Maybe like instead of making it like random, maybe every 2 weeks or so or something like that, so that we kind of expect something to be happening, and we kind of have like a time frame to kind of expect something from the game, expect something new from the game, and so on and so forth. Because being left in the dark when something new is going to be coming kind of sucks. There's a few games out there that I have played where the fan base is basically completely left in the dark about when a new update is coming, and it really sucks. So if to do this, I hope we get some like visual representation of what's going to be coming in future updates, maybe some leaks or something like that. But again, we don't know how this is exactly going to work because this was just announced today. But again, with me personally, I'd rather just have some smaller updates that can be broken up into multiple updates rather than one large one. Now, something I did want to mention here is that I don't think this is some sort of thing for the devs to kind of like take time off and not care about the game, or it's just like this is them just kind of trying to like cheat the system or make their life easier. I don't think that's the case. I think they generally just want to do better for the game and be able to provide more with each update. But I don't know if it's the best approach to kind of have everything kind of left in the dark. I would say try and push it back, do every 2 weeks. If 1 week is too much of a time constraint, then push it back to every 2 weeks or so. and see how that works. And if it still becomes an issue, then you can probably start doing like the, we'll update whenever like a huge thing is ready to be updated into the game. Because having more of a schedule is really key, I think, especially with the player base that it has, because you're expecting something to happen and you're expecting like an update, and people want something new all the time. They don't want to have to keep repeating the same thing over and over again. They want to have something new. And having weekly updates right now is be able to provide that need or that want with the player base. And now potentially having like a month where there's no update, that's when it's become an issue, because some people are just going to quit the game because there's nothing new. And then when there's a new update, they might be a few days late because again, they kind of just stop playing. And again, they mentioned here that what they're aiming for in every update is dozens and dozens of new pets, 25 plus areas, and new rebirth, stuff like that. And most of these things are things that are just going to be completely overlooked, that no one even cares about in these weekly updates, really. I mean, people care about them, but it's not like they're going out to see like every single new pet. No one's really doing that. Everyone's just kind of going from like their best pet already, maybe getting some pets that are in between the best pet and the last best pet they had. So like, say you had like a 300,000 strength pet and the new best pet is like 500,000. They're going to buy like the 400,000 one because they need to in order to get to the next area. That's kind of what we had to do with this recent update here. I'm more so just conflicted on this because, yeah, it is upsetting to not have weekly updates, but also thinking about this from the developer standpoint, it makes sense because I know as like a YouTuber, it takes time to actually get stuff created and have it ready to be uploaded and so on and so forth, and have it ready for public use. Now, I'm not saying that being a YouTuber is like being a developer, because a developer, there's a lot more variables that go into creating content than there is with YouTube. But I'm just saying at a certain degree, I do understand where they're coming from and wanting more time, and rather than having just like a schedule for uploads, kind of making it to where you upload stuff whenever you're ready. It does make sense. And you also don't want the developers to be burnt out either, because you want them to be on their best creativity, or their best mindset with the game, so that they create the best sort of product for the end user, aka us. So I'm just conflicted on both of this because I understand both sides, and I know a lot of people are more on the we want weekly updates side, and I think I'm more on that side too, but I also am very understanding as to why they don't want to do the every single week update sort of thing that they were doing. Yeah, let me know what you guys think about this. Let me know your thoughts, and if there's something that you would like to add into the video, or something that you thought about whenever I was going through this, and your thoughts on it, because I'd love to hear about it. But yeah, thank you guys for watching this video. I do appreciate it, and make sure to watch the video on screen because it's one of my best videos that YouTube thinks you'll like. So make sure to watch that, and I'll see you guys in the very next video. Bye.